And welcome back to Digital Trends Live. I'm Greg Nibbler. And again, thank you for joining us wherever you are. We appreciate it. And if you are an avid watcher of this show, you know that Wednesdays is when we have TBD. What's it going to be about? I don't know, but let's introduce our hosts right now. First off, we have Jess Surbaugh. Hello, Jess. How you doing?
Greg, I'm wonderful. How are you doing?
I am doing good. And also, of course, we have Adrien Warner. Hello, Adrien.
Hello, hello.
So, with TBD, what are we talking about today?
Well, as you know, TBD, we take a look at the world of tech and pop culture, and this week's title is called Theaters Back, Darlin, because we're going to be talking about going back to the movies. I thought that one was real good. Props to Mike for that. So I have to ask, Greg, are you eager to get back to the movie theaters? Is this something that you've been looking forward to?
Yes, I'm looking forward to doing anything, but I don't know if I'm ready to be in a room crowded full of people. But in theory, yes.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Obviously, we've had to give up a lot in the past several months, due to the pandemic, and in the interest of public safety, we've had to give up bars and events and, of course, movie theaters. Well, this week, AMC is actually going to open some of their theaters back up to the public. Of course, there are a lot of standards and restrictions in place since they closed down all of their locations this past March. They're going to be opening up officially 100 locations starting tomorrow. And as of this past Monday, their theaters have been allowing people to start purchasing tickets again. So all of this reopening will have social guidelines in place. Theaters will only be at 30% capacity, social distancing guidelines. They'll only be sold at 30% capacity. Masks will be required both by staff and moviegoers at all times, except when eating and drinking. And they're actually using seat blocking technology for their ticketing engine so that every other row will remain empty and that there will be an appropriate amount of spacing in between groups of people going to the movies. So obviously this is a big deal. And also on top of it, AMC is celebrating their centennial anniversary. So to commemorate this reopening and its centennial, AMC is going to be offering movies in 2020 at 1920s prices, which means that on opening day, that's 15 cents a ticket. So that's really cool. You can go on AMC's website and see if you're in one of the areas where they're reopening theaters. Certain states are not going to be reopening, like New York or California. Those local guidelines and restrictions are still in place, so movie theaters will not be allowed to open those states. But there are, like I said, 100 locations where you can go see and catch a movie. So what's going to be coming out this week? Well, I'm glad you asked. There's going to be a new Russell Crowe film called Unhinged, which I feel like is how we're all feeling a little bit right now.
Yep.
And then the highly anticipated The New Mutants will be following on August 28th, which is the last installment in the X-Men series. And then coming up just a little bit later, on September 3rd, we're going to be anticipating Christopher Nolan thriller Tenet to finally hit theaters. Now, since the box office is really wonky right now and releases are kind of at a standstill, they're also going to be showing some older films after the opening day. You're going to be able to catch those at $5 a ticket. So there will be things like Black Panther, Back to the Future, and The Empire Strikes Back, kind of to get people excited to go back to the movies and enjoy some oldies, but some goodies. Now, taking a step back, there was a really historic deal between AMC and Universal that was struck back in June, and that's going to kind of change what the future of releases look like now that we have the opportunity to go back to the movie theater. So to talk about that, I'm going to hand it over to Miss Surbaugh to talk about that historical deal.
Yeah, so let's chat about this groundbreaking historical deal between AMC and Universal. To break it down, essentially, America's largest theater chain and a major Hollywood studio came to a very surprising agreement, which is that Universal's movie releases could stream on paid video on demand platforms only 17 days after they're shown in theaters. Historically, the entire industry has adhered to kind of an understood theatrical window, which was basically a 70 to 90 day period from the film's release in major theaters to when it moved onto digital platforms such as premium video, cable, or streaming services. This is huge, just simply because it hasn't been accepted or ever really done. In simpler times, back in 2011, Universal actually experimented with this by offering its comedy thriller Tower Heist on video on demand 3 weeks after its theatrical debut. And at that time, several of America's largest theater chains announced that they would ban booking the film in retaliation. So as such, this agreement has potentially far-reaching implications for the film industry. So first, it establishes a new profit-sharing method or profit-sharing model, as AMC will share in revenue from the studio's paid video-on-demand rentals. Although they have not announced any specific details around this yet, we'll have to wait and see. But for example, Universal could theoretically keep a film in theaters or at the multiplex beyond this newly allotted 17 days, in addition to making it available online. So that means they'll share the wealth, whether, moviegoers are actually buying tickets for theaters or watching the film on television, tablet, or phone. So let us not forget that a mere 5 months ago, AMC said it would essentially ban all Universal releases from its theaters after the studio announced they were taking Trolls World Tour straight to PVOD. And then right after that, the NBC Universal CEO came out and announced that Trolls had actually made $100 million from these paid video rentals. So it seems that the reality of the times have really pushed this relationship between the theaters and studios to adapt. This deal, of course, is not without questions, as with any new paradigm shifting venture. Questions such as, would another theater chain want to play a Universal film if it's going to go straight into VOD within 17 days? Will we see other partnerships partner exclusively? Like, can you only see certain studios' films at particular theater chains? Or will Universal Films be playing elsewhere once things kind of start to open back up and execs are able to kind of strike further deals? As AMC is America's largest theater chain, I think it's likely to look for other studios to start negotiations with AMC. The CEO has mentioned that they have opened this up to other studios as well. So whether they wait to kind of see proof of concept or they decide to jump right in, we'll have to wait and see. Another question is, will it harm, indie films, since many need the time to build up to larger amounts of theaters? Or does this fast track to VOD actually provide the opportunity for them to return to more of an opportunity for creative risk taking instead of studios having to just solely focus solely on the bottom line? So there's so much opportunity here, I think, to look out for in the coming months. So I'll be really excited to see where this heads.
Yeah, definitely interesting. I still don't know if I'm going to go back into a theater anytime soon, but I'm glad movies are returning. So that part I'm happy about. All right, going from that, great information. We also have, of course, Kick Stop It. So what is our product today?
Well, this week's Kick Stop It is a silicone face mask called the See Us 95. It's a silicone face mask that's working towards being N95 rated. And it's a really interesting design because it doesn't have any sort of, loops for your ear holes. It basically adheres to your face, and, being silicone, you can see through it. So you're not having a mask blocking your face. It comes with 2 little filters on the side that you replace after about a week or so. It looks really alien to me. It's kind of creepy.
Amphibious, honestly.
No.
I
don't like it at all. No.
I like
That's
the idea that
horrifying.
you can see someone make facial expressions at you, that you can see someone smiling at you, but also I don't know, I saw a few pictures in there where it's kind of steaming up, and I just don't know how I feel about that one.
Why does the filter have to look like that, though? That's just, it's like some alien stuck on the side of your face. I'd rather just not see a face.
It's like you have mouth sideburns.
There it is. That one looks
I'm really not sure.
I don't know.
I'm really not sure how this is going to work with facial hair. For people with longer facial hair, I feel like this will just kind of get bunched all up in it. Although I guess that's a problem with masks anyways. The cool thing is that you can just throw it in the microwave or the dishwasher to disinfect it, which I think is a nice touch and kind of helps prevent waste. But I don't know. I like the fact that I feel like there's a plus side to the fact that we all have to wear masks and we don't have to like see each other's faces sometimes.
Yeah.
Introverts.
That
Sometimes
could
it's
just
not
be
so bad.
me. Yeah.
All right. Well, kickstop it or kickstart it. Jess, what do you think?
It terrifies me. I'm gonna kickstop it.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Adrien?
I'm on board with that. I think it's really creepy looking. A cool design, but just not looking comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, I like the tech aspect, but no, that is full of nightmares. I would run away from anybody wearing it if it looks like that. I do not want that. I'll just never leave my house again. That's fine. All right.
Mask full of
Again,
nightmares.
Yep. Don't need it. All right. Well, again, that's Kickstop It. So before we close out, though, for TBD, there he is.
Yep.
It's Charlie
There he is, taking his little hops up the stairs. Gotta love that guy.
Awesome. Charlie. Well, Adrien, Jess, thank you, as always.
Of course,
Another
thank you.
great edition of TBD.